guys, welcome to my channel, Psyched.Slick. I basically wanted to create an introduction video just to help you guys get to know me a little bit, why I even created a channel, what my interests of topics are, and yeah, basically just to get to know me. So I'm going to go by Psyched.Slick on my channel. And I have really been going through the hardest year of my life and have developed a chronic illness that never saw coming. And I have to say it has changed my life completely. I used to be a healthcare professional, I'm not going to say which one. And about a year ago, I got really sick. I missed my cousin's wedding. I couldn't even make it. I was so sick, and I recovered, got better, and then 2 weeks later, my health just suddenly declined. It was just so unexpected, and at first I thought maybe it was long COVID, but my doctors say that typically long COVID goes away within 6 months to a year, and it's been over a year and I haven't gotten better. So basically they've diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. I have been to so many doctors, it's hard to count. Let's see. I started at the primary care doctor, went to a rheumatologist, then went to a dermatologist, then went to a neurologist, then went to a GI doctor and an allergist, and then a functional medicine doctor, then an infectious disease doctor, and then an endocrinologist. So yeah, I have, let's not forget the colorectal specialist too. So yes, I have seen my fair share of doctors, and my biggest blessing is that my tests are healthy. I don't have any noticeable things that are really wrong with me that show up on my blood work. But that also can be very confusing and can make me feel a little lost as to getting an accurate diagnosis. I've also had it just feels like every part of my body is malfunctioned, and that's also why I've seen a lot of different doctors as well. I've originally thought it was lupus. I developed during this time where all of my symptoms started. I was in so much pain, I couldn't get out of bed. My head was so heavy, I couldn't lift it up. I would pass out if I got up too quickly. My body couldn't regulate its temperature. My skin was in pain, it felt like it was burning. Brain fog, I couldn't remember what I was saying, or what someone else was telling me. I was like, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about this? And it would, oh, hi, this is my little kitty Rick. He's my baby. He's only nice to me in our house. He's mean to everybody else. Go down there. Yeah, sleep. I have gotten so much sleep the last year. I feel like Sleeping Beauty. They did diagnose me with sleep apnea, which I never had before, but I have now. Just like, oh yeah, that's right. I started out with a face rash. It was bad, really, really red, and it wasn't noticeable if it passed these smile lines, And apparently, if they pass the smile lines, it's rosacea. It's just right here. It's usually like a malar rash, however you say it, which can indicate lupus with the similar symptoms that I have. And I was very worried about that because that can cause other parts of your body to malfunction and not do well. But thank God it actually was just rosacea. But then, I'm thinking like all of these health issues that I'm like suddenly developing that I never had ever before in my life. It's like, why did this all happen all at once? I got really sick. I don't know what it was. It could have been COVID. I don't know. I have had COVID before, and I knew that because I lost my smell and taste. And I had long COVID because it took me a while to recover. But I did recover that time. This time, whatever I got sick with a year ago, I had a fever, I was throwing up, I had chills, and then I got better, and then I didn't. And that was just the start of the hell that I've been in. I would not wish it on my worst enemy. I don't wish a chronic illness on anybody. It truly is the definition of suffering because it's just ongoing and there's no end. I don't know what's worse, my pain or my fatigue. I have to take several naps, sometimes unintentional naps. I just lay down because I just feel so overwhelmed and exhausted, and I fall asleep. And my pain just migrates everywhere. Sometimes it will stick in an area for a while and stay there, and other times, one minute my elbow's hurting, the next minute my knee's hurting, the next minute my shoulder's hurting, my collarbone's hurting. It's everywhere. I thought it was a bunch of different things, but all the tests came back normal. And so fibromyalgia is a diagnosis based on ruling things out. I got tested for autoimmune disorders, I got tested for Lyme disease, I got tested for MS, and nothing. And the first neurologist that I saw, I'm not going to name him, but he was at a university, a well-known university, and he made me feel like a drug addict. He asked me, so what drugs do you want? And I'm not dumb, like I know that he's asking that question thinking that I'm drug seeking. As a healthcare professional, I know the tricks, but he was not very smooth. And I was like, what do you mean, what drugs do I want? I don't want any drugs. I want you to tell me what's wrong with me to help me. I'm not one to want to be taking medication, so it was just such a turnoff, and that honestly made me feel terrible. It made me feel like he didn't believe me, and that was the start to my medical anxiety, because then from then on it made me feel like doctors weren't going to believe me, that they were going to think that I was just, I don't know, like feigning illness. I don't know. But trust me, there's no way in hell that I would want to be feeling the way that I feel, not being able to work, not being able to function some days. I mean, it can be a really sad existence. Other days when I'm able to manage it, I am able to, get things things done around the house, but I have to pace myself. Otherwise, it's like I regret it for a week and I get into a flare. And it's one thing where I'm like always in pain and always tired. It's another thing when I'm in a flare. You don't want to be in a flare. A flare is just, it lets you know that you did something wrong, like overdoing it, not managing your stress, or something completely out of your control, like the weather. Who would have ever thought that the weather would play such a role? But my body knows that it's raining before anyone knows it's raining or that it's about to rain, or if it's foggy outside. It's the worst thing in the world. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it's raining outside, but I don't know that yet. But I'm waking up in severe pain and I look outside and of course it's raining. And yeah, so chronic pain, not fun. Chronic fatigue, not fun. Not remembering what you're saying, not fun. I use medical marijuana. The topical stuff really helps with the pain, but again, that only lasts for a little bit. And then it helps with my sleep. It definitely helps with my mood, like managing some anxiety or depression. It doesn't take things away, it just helps me not focus on it. So I find that helpful, especially the pain, that I'm like not thinking about it. It doesn't get rid of the pain, it just helps me not focus on it. And I love holistic stuff. I do acupuncture, that has been really helpful. I have changed things in my diet. But then I saw a functional medicine doctor and I was like so excited, thinking, wow, they're going to be so helpful. And it was a scam. They wanted to charge me $2,000, $1,900 really to be exact, for a Lyme treatment. And they were like, oh, there's this test that will definitively tell us if you have Lyme or not. And I was like, great, I want to do the test then. And then that will help me decide if I want to do the treatment. They're like, oh, no, no. The test is a part of the cost of the treatment. And I was like, that sounds scammy. So why would I sign up for a treatment without even knowing if that's what I have? Why combine the two? So I was like, all right, I'm going to go see a traditional infectious disease doctor and see what they say. And they said that they did a 2-part test and they were supposed to stop at the first part of the test if they were all negative, which happened. But they didn't stop. They did the second part, which will show past antibodies to past infections that could cross-react to other past reactions that aren't necessarily Lyme. And then they'll use that to point to, oh, well, that's what's causing your symptoms, right? But if I did that, or if that happened to me, right? So they were like, oh, well, this might indicate that you have Lyme. And they think that Lyme is the cause of everything, even if you're not bitten by a tick. And I'm like, what the hell? That just doesn't sound right. So then I see the Lyme doctor, and they're like, no, there's no way that you have Lyme. So they definitely ruled that out. So I have come to the conclusion that I just need to learn to accept my diagnosis as fibromyalgia. But it's hard because there's also people out there that don't even think that's a real diagnosis. My neurologist does believe in fibromyalgia, and he said that there's no current test that will show fibromyalgia in a living patient, but that there are autopsies done of people that have had fibromyalgia, done cross-reference with people that didn't have fibromyalgia, and they found nerve damage in the patient that had fibromyalgia, but they're not able to see that in a living patient yet. And what the Lyme doctor told me, which was really, honestly, really encouraging, because not all doctors have felt encouraging, but she said, there's nothing wrong with you that is causing, or like, there is something, she said, there is something wrong with you. There are a lot of people like you that have similar symptoms, and you all fall into the same category. There's something wrong with the medical field being able to diagnose it, because we don't have the proper tools to do that yet. And that's not your fault. And she said that, there's been other autoimmune disorders that within the last 5 years we've just been recently able to diagnose using specific diagnostic criteria with labs and scans that they haven't been able to diagnose before, that used to be diagnosed similarly as like based on exclusions like fibromyalgia. So that was the first doctor, aside from my second neurologist, that's great. She's the first one that didn't blame me, or didn't feel like it was like, oh, well, we don't have, there's not a test that shows me that there's anything wrong with you, so therefore you're fine. She was saying, no, I know you're sick, I believe you, I just can't, I don't have a test to provide you that's going to give you a result that shows that. And there's such a difference in that, because I was able to then feel like, okay, you're right, like, it's not me, the health system is still trying to learn. And there's been other doctors that I feel like have gaslit me into thinking, like, well, your labs are healthy, so you're fine. I'm like, you could tell me all day till you're blue in the face that my labs say I'm healthy, but I don't feel healthy. I'm thankful that my labs show that I'm healthy, but I don't feel healthy. So I think I've run the course on seeing doctors. I think I'm going to now take the bull by the horns and really manage my diet better and exercise when I can, even when I can't, try to get a little bit in and see if that can help. I still need to go see the endocrinologist. I'm hopeful that that might help. I do have some deficiencies in some hormones, so that might also play a role. But join my community and click the like button or send a comment, so that way we can chat together. All right, thank you.